it be another beatdown, this time in Beantown, as McDavid and co. continue to play well on this 5-game road trip. We get you set for the Oilers and Bruins right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola, Sean Bell with you. Live on location, Hudson's White Avenue before the rush comes in. Bellsy, how's it going tonight, pal?
It's going. It's frosty.
It's frosty. It's warm in here, though.
Don't care for that.
Yeah, you've got some nachos going.
Yeah.
We've got a teacher's party in the back.
Oh, is that what's going on?
They're very quiet. It's very bizarre. Usually they're crazy.
Usually teachers are rowdy. Here we are.
Get them a few beverages. Aiden's pouring drinks back there. We've got a very animated gentleman here and then a couple of ladies back there. They just opened up at 3 o'clock. We're on White Avenue. Come on down. Join us if you want to stay warm. Take advantage of some great game day specials. They have Thursday night student night. That's happy hour, $5 house draft. They have smash burgers and bingo is after. Bingo is very popular. That's when
bingo
people
is popular.
It's when people are going to come up to us and be like, "Can we play?" And we got no. You got to go over to the DJ booth.
We aren't the DJs or the bouncers.
No, and the damn on-air light's not working. We'll get that figured out. Also, it's a game day and they have the specials. Every game day, you get the adult Happy Meal. That's the drive-in burger or wings, fries, 12-ounce Henry Hudson's draft, and then a toy, which I think is
an adult toy.
It's a hockey puck beer.
Oh, okay.
Or bottle opener.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you can double your beer for $4.
You know
what?
When you go adult toy,
it
allows your brain to go where it needs to go.
That's the first thing I said to Sarah, manager here, and Connor Yakubuski, GM here. I said, "Guys, what's this adult toy? What are we doing?" What are we doing? Are we the neighbors?
Exactly.
Right? Like
the neighbors would appreciate this stuff. Right
here. They're like, no, it's a
bottle
bottle opener with a hockey puck and a logo on it.
Yeah.
You can also get $10 tankards of Henry Hudson's beer or Budweiser or Bud Light, and then $6 tequilas of Espolón. Yeah, yes, sir. So come on down, take advantage of some specials. I know a few of the Nasties are going to be joining us. Hernan might be joining us as well.
My.
Yes, that'll be great.
You think Jasmine's going to join us?
Is Jasmine coming?
She doesn't really go out in the cold, does she?
No, she's bundled up like a snowman. I don't know if you saw her on the Hangout today.
Soft.
Anyway, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. You can join the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. Jump into the chat if you're watching over on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. We appreciate that very much. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll hand things back over to Jay Milne. I saw Wanek was on with him. I'm not sure if Maddie's sticking around for the full show, but we'll pass it back over to the boys to wrap things up. They'll take it to 6 o'clock. And then when the Oilers and Bruins concludes, we'll, of course, have the post-game show. Of course, also brought to you by GCL Diesel. Cam and the crew there. Absolutely tremendous. Great to have them on board. Loyal partners and good friends of EST. All right, the Oilers 16-12-6. The Bruins 20-14-0. It is game number 35 as we welcome in Benny Thomson. Benny, you're just ready to go. You're itching. You're in the bullpen. You're like, give me out. Let's go, coach.
Give me out.
How are we doing?
I'm great. Matt is leaving right now. He just gave me the goodbye. So it'll be just Jay Milne and Zachary Koob Kubusch on the Reid Wilkins Show after we're done pre here. But this is it's not as a hyped up game as the Pittsburgh one, but I don't think we'll have a regular season game that hyped up until we're talking, closer to playoffs. But this still is a good one. There's a guy in Edmonton that hasn't had a great start to his season here, that is coming back to the team that gave him a chance and got him into the NHL and the Boston Bruins. And so I wonder if Trent Frederick kind of has not a breakout night necessarily, but a night where he's a little bit more motivated than most regular season nights. But yeah, it should be a good matchup between these two teams. Boston looks pretty good this year, and we'll see if the Oilers can take them down.
Bellsy, Trent Frederick, and
like most guys, when they get traded from a team, whether it was for a positive reason, negative reason, they usually want to try to stick it to their team, and they circle that game on their calendar, and they're usually a little bit more amped up. So, for me, I hope he's able to find his game, and maybe coming back to Boston is something that he needs, maybe a little bit of closure.
Yeah.
But the Oilers need him. They need what he can bring, and they need what the elements which gave them, or I guess management, the decision to get rid of a Kane. Because when you look at the Oilers, they have skill.
Yep.
But we keep asking, like, where's their physicality in the bottom six and guys that can, add some scoring? And this is a guy that, for a lot of people, have said, well, he's a perfect player for that particular role. And right now, he's fallen short of expectations. And so hopefully you see a game like this and you can find it again.
You've gone back to your old teams in your career. What was that like for you? And there's got to be added motivation, but what are some of the emotions that you experienced when you dealt with that?
Well, I mean, there's a few teams where it's like, hey, you got traded because they're going for a run, and you just kind of do it. It is what it is.
That was Minnesota.
But at the same time, you look back and you say, okay, well, like I want to show you guys that you lost a good player, and so like there's always that emotion where you want to show and you want to prove like you guys are going to miss me. Mm-hmm. And so for him, obviously a different situation. Boston wasn't great last year. So they offloaded some contracts. The Oilers wanted another guy that, big body that could bang and crash, add toughness to the team, and then can obviously chip in some goals. So I think for him, it's as simple as you go out in that game and you all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, this is who I am. And now you're showing your own team, but you're also showing the team that you just were with, hey, you guys lost this.
Hopefully he shows that tonight. Honestly, if that's the spark he needs and it gets him, set back down the right path, then great. And then the other thing is the Bruins come to Edmonton for the New Year's Eve game, and you get 2 cracks at it and a reminder, and hopefully that's the motivation. I remember you when you played for the Avs against the Oilers that year you got traded.
I was good that game.
You were very good that game.
I think I almost scored.
You walked?
I walked Linus Omar. Wait.
Let me get the applause for you on that one. Great defensive player. Yeah.
That was right after Adam Foote had Timu Hartikainen pinned up against the wall.
Yes.
And his feet weren't even touching the ice. And they were just like waving. And
it's like a dog when you put it in water.
It's a penalty. It's a penalty.
You were very good that game.
Relax, Tom. Yeah. Relax, okay? It's all good, buddy. It's Adam Foote's last game.
Yes. I remember that. I remember I went out with Steve McIntyre the night before. I think he knew. It's like, I'm not playing tomorrow, whatever. And boy, Big Mac could drink. And then we saw you, and it was,
I think the game before you guys played Minnesota in Edmonton, or was it in Minnie? When he went after Brad Staubitz?
Oh, man, I can't remember. Because that was a long time ago.
We even got the warning about that.
About Mac?
Yeah, because our coach comes in the locker room. He's like, boys, we're not sure if Mac's playing, but just make sure you're ready because, hey, I don't know what the Oilers are doing, but they're going a little squirrely right now. And we're like, oh, okay.
It was the end of the year.
It was the end of the year.
The last game.
I think guys just wanted to go home.
I think so. I vividly recall that being a very pleasant ride home back to Edmonton. Anyway, we'll see what Trent Frederick can do against his old team. Belzy will have more on Game Changers. Let us know your thoughts. Let's go to the question of the night from Ben Thomson before we roll into lineups for tonight's game.
The question of the night tonight, I have this. We've been talking about how these new guys that the Oilers sign, they come in and they're supposed to be depth guys and they're supposed to provide some extra scoring, and they just haven't, right? Victor Arvidsson last year, Jeff Skinner, Mangiapane is now kind of fallen into that category now with his play as of late. Obviously, Trent Frederick. My question of the night is, do you think it is a lack of pro scouting and understanding if this player is going to fit here, or is it Chris Knobloch not maybe giving him the proper role, or just the treating him properly to provide some depth scoring with some of these guys? What do you guys think?
I'll throw that grenade to
you. Neither, actually. I think the Oilers are the ultimate double-edged sword. Why do I say that? Is because you have Connor and Leon. They're the 2 best players in the world. From there, you've got Nugent Hopkins, who is a really solid player. And when you look at those guys, you see how they operate. They always want to be on the ice. You look at the power play. Well, guess what? They play 2 minutes. Well, maybe it's not 2 minutes. Maybe it's a 1 minute and 47 seconds. So you have these guys that are pushing your team to another level because they're so good. But at the exact same time, well, what do depth guys need? If you're a guy that's supposed to be in a position to provide secondary scoring, well, what do you need? You already answered it. It's ice time.
Got to get out there.
And so if I'm a guy that needs to get on the power play to, maybe chip in and add a little bit, of confidence to myself and get myself going, well, that's completely out of the equation now.
Yeah.
So in one breath, it's like, yeah, I get it. You need more scoring. You need more secondary scoring, and you need that depth so that you can propel yourself in the playoffs, because that's one of the reasons why you've lost. But at the same time, you've got Connor and Leon, and they want to play, and they should play because they're that dangerous. So to me, I don't think it's either of those two. I just think it's that you've got two of the best players, and you want those guys out on the ice as much as you possibly can, because they're the same two guys that are going to help you win.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point, Bill. It's a double-edged sword, and you know, I know people have pointed out pro scouting. I know people have blamed the GMs that have been through here, the numerous GMs. I know people have blamed the numerous coaches, and I wouldn't disagree with most of them that there is some blame to go around for the scenario in which depth scoring hasn't really evolved and taken shape here in the McDavid-Draisaitl era. However, how many times are we stuck going, why isn't this guy doing anything? Why isn't this guy doing it? And then they go somewhere else, and it's like, oh, they're back to playing normal.
Yeah.
Because the opportunity is different. I think you made a great point. I'm not going to say you can't blame person X, person Y, person Z. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, yeah, you kind of need opportunity to have success. And when you have limited opportunity, it's tough to have success. Great point. What say you? 780-218-9999. Text us. We want to hear your thoughts on the question of the night. Benny, throw it out there one more time before I go into starting lineups.
Where do you think the problem is with the new players coming to Edmonton? Is it the pro scouting and the lack of actually adding the proper talent, or is it the coaching staff and not giving them the proper role?
I like it. 780-218-9999. Hop into the chat if you're watching on YouTube. Zedmo says, give Freddie a break. He was acquired with an injury, rushed back to justify the move, gets thrust on the top line this season because no depth. He's middle six. That one coming in from Zedmo. Jodes, a.k.a. Jay Cerner in the chat, says one of those pro scouts has been on this team since 2009. Just saying. Jodes, we've gone through this. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. You know?
I mean, I had a conversation with a pro scout that said, quote, unquote, the Oilers really don't have a pro scouting department.
But it's not as robust as it could be. It's not Buffalo Sabres then. Like the Sabres went all digital, and that worked out great for them.
Yeah, so can we just leave it there?
We can leave it there. We want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. Garen and Big Uke are on their way. I know VR Montenegro will be coming by, so we're going to have a lot of fun here at Hudson's White Avenue. Come join us for the game. Oh, the teacher party looks like it's winding down. My goodness.
That was a lame teacher party.
It was very quiet, very polite. Anyway, we'll also hear from Belle Fraser later on in the show. She was covering the Utah Hockey Club last year, now the Utah Mammoth. She has since moved on to Bruins TV. She pre-taped with Belzy and I just before we went to air, so she will give us the scoop on the Bees as we roll through. All right, let's get you your starting lineups for tonight for the Oilers. McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Savoy. Podkolzin getting opportunity and now taking advantage of it. Looking more like a middle six to top six forward. Not completely Rip City step, not completely, but on his way there. Could be a 20-goal season. Ooh. I'm just giving up a little spice there.
I love how it's all coming back because we had this conversation last year, and I was taking heat from this guy and Latino heat.
Rightly so. Draisaitl, Savoy, and Podkolzin still together as they should be. They're playing very well. Henrique between Mangiapane and Janmark, and then Trent Frederick back at center with Max Jones reinserted into the lineup and Quinn Hudson. Hudson only playing 7 minutes in his season debut, and then Max Jones comes in for Curtis Lazar. Lazar got nicked up in that game in Pittsburgh. I'm surprised he finished it the way he went off, very gingerly, but so they'll get Jones in there. On defense for the Oilers tonight, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Stasny, Riley Stillman gets in. He'll make his Oilers debut alongside Ty Emberson. No David Tomashek or Curtis Lazar, like I mentioned. As for the Bruins, Elias Lindholm with Morgan Geekie and David Pasternak, Pavel Zacha between Casey Middlestat and Murat Husnutdinov. Say that 3 times in a row really quickly.
I won't even try once.
Yeah. Fraser Minton with Alexander Steeves and Michael Isamont, and then Sean Corrali between Chandler Jeannot and Mark Kastelik. On defense for the Bruins, Nikita Zadorov with Charlie McAvoy, Hampus Lindholm paired up with Andrew Peeke, and then Mason Lohrei with Victor Soderstrom, Jeffrey Viel out as a scratch. For your starting goalies tonight, 30-year-old Tristan Jarry going for the Oilers. His third start as a member of the Orange and Blue. 11-3-1 is his record. 277 goals against average, 901 save percentage, 1 shutout in 16 games this year. Jarry versus Boston lifetime. 4-8-3 record, 309 goals against average, 907 save percentage, and 1 shutout in 17 games versus the Bees. And then at the other end of the rink, 27-year-old Jeremy Swayman. He is 14-8 this season. Belsey, 274 goals against average, 909 save percentage in 22 games this season. Swayman versus the Oil, 2-1, 319 goals against average, 895 save percentage in 5 games against Edmonton over the course of his career. Anything stand out to you lineup-wise before we go into injuries?
Not really.
You didn't have a chance to talk about Quinn Hudson, did you?
Not really, but at the same time, I didn't really get to watch him.
Okay.
Because I was busy, obviously, last weekend and stuff like that.
You've got 3 sick people at home, so you've been sleeping well?
Only 2.
Only 2 now?
Only 2. Only the women are sick.
Oh, no. Oh, young Hendricks, immune system of a beast.
Just like mine.
Just like Papa.
Yeah.
That All right, let's go to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I'm going to give you the Bruins. I'm going to do the Oilers. How does that sound? Okay. For the Oilers, Alec Regula, illness. Sounds like there is something going around the team. Jack Michaels has been pretty sick. I know he was he's trying to stay warm and sweat the thing out in bed. Didn't go to the rink today. He will try to tough it out on the broadcast as well. We heard him lose his voice. I know that really bothers him when stuff like that happens. So hopefully everyone that's dealing with illness will be better and well soon. So Regula dealing with that right now. Jack Roslovic, IR lower body. Jake Wallman, LTIR lower body. Noah Philp, LTIR upper body. Kasperi Kapanen, LTIR knee. Connor Clattenburg, IR. Belsey, you get the Bruins.
Yeah, Victor Arvidsson, lower body. Henry.
Is that why you're laughing?
Harshu, IR undisclosed. Jonathan Aspero, IR upper body. Matej Blumel, good old Tri-City American boy. IR lower body. And Michael Callahan, IR lower body.
There's one more.
Oh,
yeah.
And Jordan Harris. I had to go to another page. Yeah, Jordan Harris, IR ankle.
All right. There is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Like we said, book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. Let's go to Ben Thomson back at ESTHQ. You seen any responses to your question of the night or anything you want to hit on?
Not a whole lot. I mean, there's been talk about this fourth line for the Oilers. Like I know we brought up Quinn Hudson last post-game show. Curtis Lazar gets hurt, which would mean that there should be more ice time available. The Oilers go up early in the game and have the lead the entire game, which means you should be able to run 4 lines. Those things happen, and Quinn Hudson still didn't even get 7 minutes out there.
He got 6:59. Thank you very much, Ben.
Yeah. Is that between 6 and 7, Ben?
Yeah, it's between 6 and 7. Yeah. That was the whole joke on the morning show the next day.
Get excited.
Yeah, I know. I heard it.
But to me, it's like I'm curious to see what the ice time is for that fourth line tonight, because it is Frederick and Jones going back to their former team. So I wonder if Knobloch's going to give them a little kick, like, hey, let's see you do something tonight against your former team. And then with that would be Quinn Hudson joining them. But I also could see a situation where, I mean, if the Oilers are in a tight game, especially as of late with how Connor and Leonov are playing, Knobloch has completely ran those guys, basically double shifting them in the third period. So I'm curious to see what the ice time is for that fourth line tonight, especially with 2 of them returning back to Boston. But that Pittsburgh game doesn't.
Benny, here's a problem though. Okay, this has been happening for I can't even remember how many years, but I know when I played, this was a massive problem. Mm-hmm. And I've alluded to it, I think, on Hello Hockey, where it was like, hey, Alex Giroux. Giroux was an unbelievable AHL player.
Yes.
He wasn't a grinder. He wasn't a fighter. He was a very skilled hockey player. And so you see him in the AHL and he would flat out dominate games. Yes. He would almost be at the point where you're like, this guy shouldn't be in the NHL anymore. But then he would go to the NHL and they'd stick him on the fourth line.
Yep.
And they'd be like, man, why isn't it working out? Well, I don't know, because he just had 170 points over here, but now you're going to play him with, no disrespect to guys in the NHL, but with two tough guys that have zero desire to even play with a stick. So what are we trying to do here? And NHL teams have been doing this since the dawn of time, and it's the most mind-boggling thing, because if you're going to bring up someone with skill, put them with someone with skill.
Yeah.
If they're a top-line player in the AHL, based off of skill, then they should probably go into a position where they can now flourish and have their skill set take over, not with guys that don't really care.
Now, here's that opportunity thing you discussed.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the NHL is different now, and it's not a bunch of like guys that are 6'8", 280 pounds that are trying to just kill everybody. You know, you have to be able to play, but there's still something to be said about that. Like, you don't bring him up to put him on the fourth line. I'm sorry, you don't.
That's why I was fine with Max Jones. That's why I was fine with Max Jones getting the call up originally, because it's like, if you play him 5 minutes a night and he goes and hits a couple of guys, great. You played your job. You did your role. But Quinn Hudson, he's lighting up the AHL right now. It's similar to an Ike Howard situation for me. It's like, he's small. He isn't a physical guy. He wants the puck on a stick, great, but you're not going to get the puck on your stick with 8 minutes and 7 minutes of ice time.
Isn't it the same situation as Savoy? When Savoy was being put on the third and fourth line and he wasn't producing, and then all of a sudden he goes, well, you got to send him back. Well, wait a second. All of a sudden now he's on the first and second line, and guess what he's doing? He's producing. He's playing with guys that he thinks like. He's playing with guys that have skill. Now he's starting to shine, and his game is flourishing. And when he was in the minors, he played in all situations. He added elements to his game. He added grinding to his game. He added the defensive prowess. He did some really good things, but now it's translating the NHL because he's playing at that level and on those lines.
Good point. Very good point. Okay, I saw Max Bazuzu talking about Roslovic getting his injury in a sensitive male area, and I checked up on this, not that I really wanted to get the details of it. And when I got there, I said, did Roslovic have surgery on his giggleberries? And the response I got was kind of, and I said, ouchies. And then the response I got was, yeah, he didn't lose any, so that's good. Thank God, I replied.
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't want to dive too much into that one. He's okay. Yeah. He's okay. Let's dive into a couple of texts before we go to Belle Fraser, who is going to give us the scoop on the Bruins. She is with Bruins TV. Stupid Peter texts in and says, we've been all over Frederick for his play this year for good reason, but tonight I really hope Knoblauch gives that fourth line some real minutes. I know Hudson shouldn't be relied on to carry a line, but I actually think his offensive ability could help to get some bottom six scoring. He did, when he did get the puck, he didn't look like he was nervous and ready to just fire it away.
Who are you going to give it to, though?
Well, he did shoot one. He had one shot the other night, but he was
so he's going to go out for 7 minutes and just shoot the puck the whole time?
No, he's going to try to pass to Max Jones and Trent Frederick. Keyword try.
Yeah. I'm not trying to disrespect those guys, but like, you got to put guys in positions to succeed.
Oh, man. A couple more texts. Bryce is coming in from the Combine crew. Sarah and Caller coming in. Excellent. And then Ian said, Tommy, have you seen the line rumor out of Buffalo? Yeah, I did. I still have to figure out if it's BS or not, because there's been a lot of that around here. Let's go to Coach Mike. Says, any chance Knoblauch finds some more ice time for the bottom six tonight? Tough schedule next 4 nights. You would hope, and that's a good point by Coach Mike, that with a lot of hockey in a short amount of games, you do dip into your depth. What would enable Chris Knoblauch to go to the depth lines?
If Connor and Leon don't want to play.
Oh, they always want to play, though.
They always want to play. And like I mentioned earlier to Benny's question of the night, it's the Oilers are the ultimate double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You got two guys that they want to play. They love hockey. They want to succeed. They want to be the best players on the ice. And so when you have those guys and they can handle the minutes, well, then you put those guys out there. But at the same time, it takes away, obviously, from some of the depth, and those guys don't get the minutes that they probably need to start to get round their games out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things. And I don't think the schedule matters for Leon and Connor. Like, I think they just want to go out there and play and try to affect the game as much as they can.
780-218-9999 as we roll along here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Live on location, Hudson's, White Avenue. Every game day, $23.99 gets you the adult Happy Meal. That is drive-in burger or wings with fries, 12-ounce Henry Hudson draft, or you can upgrade that for $4 more to double your beer. And then they also give you the toy as part of the Happy Meal, but it's a bottle opener puck, which is always neat. There's $10 Henry Hudson's, Budweiser, or Bud Light tankards, and then $6 Espalon tequila shots. It's also Thursday student night. What does that mean? That means you get $5 house draft, $5 smash burgers, and music bingo. They get U of A kids that come down here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good spot.
It is a good spot. Quiet right now.
It's withstood the test of time.
It really has. I went down earlier to the basement. I looked in. They had one of the doors to like the cellar open.
Yep.
And I looked and I'm like, ooh, what is going on down there? This is old.
Could say some stories.
They've probably seen some things on White Avenue. Oh, White Avenue, right? Big thank you to Connor and Sarah for having us down at Hudson's on White Avenue. And a bunch of the nasties are coming out. Can't wait to see them. And maybe we'll have some of the beverages that are available on Game Day Special together. All right. With that being said, let's go to Belle Fraser from Bruins TV. She's the beat writer and reporter for the Bruins, now made her way over from Utah. We had a chance to catch up with her just a few minutes before we went to air, and she had to take care of her work duties down at TD Garden. Here she is, Belle Fraser. All right, we're going to welcome her back to the program, but not covering the Utah Mammoth, or Utah HC as it was last year. Now with the Boston Bruins, beat reporter Belle Fraser joins us now from TD Garden. Welcome back, Belle. It is freezing cold up here. I hope it's warmer down in Boston. I have to ask you this. You went from covering the newest NHL market to one of the oldest. Tell us what that change is like.
It's been really cool. I mean, I came on a few times last year and I feel like we were talking about how Utah was growing and it was the name votes and the players were starting to bond with the community. And it was all the things that Bruins fans went through 100 years ago, basically. So there's definitely a shift in fan base and understanding of the game and the history of an original six team. I think the way you write about it is so different because you have so much to go back on. But both experiences have been amazing so far. I loved my time in Utah, and it was really cool to see selfishly like NHL love and hockey fandom grow from the ground up because so many of us grew up with that. So that was super special. But then coming back to Boston, I mean, I went to BU here, covered BU hockey for 4 years. And this was the market, I always felt super connected to, especially it's hockey fans. They're passionate and they know what they're talking about and they demand good product on the ice, off the ice. So it's definitely super motivating to work somewhere where that's expected of you and to be part of such a historic franchise. I feel super lucky and it's been super fun so far. I think the Bruins are surprising some people, turning some heads this year. So all good things.
Yeah, and you also get to work with my old cameraman, producer extraordinaire Blaine Sayers. I think Laurent Mercier's there. Yep. And then you got Eric Russo over there. Great crew. And Trav, just a great crew.
We've got a good squad.
Yeah, you do. All right, Bells, go ahead.
I got two questions for you. One was just kind of going off of what you were just talking about, obviously being part of such a historic franchise, being part of historic rivalries. Like, how different is that compared to obviously when you're with the Mammoth where, hey, this is a brand new franchise and maybe you don't have some of those things where, the fans are getting up a little bit more. So that'd be my first question. Then my follow-up obviously is, the Bruins they've won 4 straight at home. They've obviously had a resurgent season, which you just talked about and mentioned. So what has led to the success for Boston this year?
Yeah, to start with the rivalry question, I think in Utah, that was actually one of the topics we were thinking about all year. We were like, who is Utah's first rival going to be? Weirdly, it felt like the San Jose Sharks for a second because their 2 games against them were probably one of the more heated, but everyone wanted it to be Colorado for like Rocky Mountain rivalry. But I think that's something that happens over time. My answer there was that I think you need to make the playoffs, and it's the first team you lose to or the first team you beat, and then fans will really cling on to that. But yeah, in Boston, I mean, I think to the Black Friday matinee game they had against the New York Rangers, 1 p.m. original six matchup, and you can just feel the buzz in the building. And it's stuff like that I don't think you can manufacture. It's just rooted in the history there. So that's been super cool to witness, especially because I'm from New York too. So love when worlds collide in terms of hockey. And then your question, just what's made this team successful? I think a lot of it in terms of the Bruins is tied back to Marco Sturm. We've talked to a lot of the players this week, and they said his system is starting to feel like second nature and it's starting to click. There was definitely a transition period in the beginning of the season. I mean, you saw it with the record, but guys are understanding their roles and they're getting contributions up and down the lineup. As cliche as that might sound, they faced a lot of injury adversity, but it hasn't stopped them. They've pulled up guys from Providence, Alex Steeves, who was on the first line with Morgan Geekie for a stretch there and had 6 goals in 8 games or something crazy like that. So they've been able to mesh behind guys like Pastrnak and Geekie and McAvoy and Swayman, and their acquisitions over the summer have been able to play kind of the identity grinding down teams role that Marco Sturm has wanted. And I think they're just building confidence. A lot of the guys have said they're just having fun playing a hockey right now, and it feels good to be winning, obviously. They have the best home record in the Eastern Conference right now, so they're looking to keep that going with this 5-game homestand here. And obviously the Oilers tonight will be a pretty tall task, but I think they're excited for the test because, going up against the best can kind of show what you're made of.
Belle Fraser joining us now, covering the Boston Bruins as we get you set for tonight's matchup. Belle, Morgan Geekie, you mentioned him. He is second in league goal scoring right now. Absolutely tremendous to see. You also wrote a neat article about him giving his teammates a special gift. Tie these two together. Is it because of the gift that they're so happy to give him the puck as the gift in return? It is the time of giving and in the holiday season. Give us a little bit of a snippet of his season and then tell us about what he did for his teammates.
Yeah, that's a good theory. Maybe it was the beginning of season presents that everyone's just finding Morgan Geekie on the ice.
Presents.
No, he's been unreal. And I think last year, he had a great second half of the season too. And people were wondering how he was going to respond this year. Was it just a blip? Was it just a one season thing? And he came in firing, obviously, and hasn't gone more than 3 games without scoring this year. 24 goals in 34 games. And he's scoring in all different areas too. It's on the power play, it's tip-ins, it's wrist shots. It's not just one thing. So I think that's been really important to him. And he's talked about kind of his hockey IQ going up by playing with David Pastrnak, that he's really followed how Pasta looks for his spots on the ice and kind of the space he finds. And he's been able to do the same, obviously. So super happy for him. And yeah, the story we wrote over here was he obviously signed a 6-year extension in Boston over the summer. And he didn't really want to do a fancy dinner with his teammates. Thought it was too boring. He wanted it to be memorable. So he grew up playing baseball and actually wanted to go to the MLB instead of the NHL. That was his goal. He skipped his first year of training camp with the Tri-City Americans to play baseball and try to get a college offer. Nothing hit, turned into a hockey player, but it's a huge part of his life and his family's life. So he was getting a baseball glove customized this summer, and his wife suggested, why doesn't he just get one for the whole team? And he took it to another level where he did it with colors based on where the guy played college, where they played Canadian juniors, their home country. So all of them had a very specific meaning. He did all the research himself, customized them, and had them ready for after training camp. So it's pretty cool. You see guys around the rink with theirs. Mason Lohrei has his Ohio State one. There's some competition between the college guys, which ones have better colorways. But yeah, it was a really cool touch by Geekie, and I think the guys appreciated it.
Belzy, a former Tri-City American as well. Proud one. And then, okay, I'm going to slide this in really quickly. When the Bruins are on their game, Bell, they're doing what?
They're doing a lot of things. I think one, it's physicality. This team is not afraid to shy away, and that's always been the Bruins' motto. I mean, you think of Bruins and it's the black and gold, it's the tough guys, but I think they've embraced that a lot this year, especially with guys like Tanner Jeannot playing a huge role in their bottom six. And young guys too, like Fraser Minton has been a steady center from them, and he has a bit of edge to them. And I think they're not just relying on their top two lines in the power play when they're doing well. They're relying on everyone, and that's easy to say for any team, but they've proven that they can do it. I mean, that game in St. Louis where Marco Stern put David Pastrnak on the third line, he moved Mark Haslick down to the fourth and switched it up. They got 4 goals from their bottom 6 and won that game 5-2. And that was one of their better games of the year. So I think you're seeing that guys want to be included. They're excited to contribute, and that trickles down. And then goaltending is huge. Jeremy Swayman, I mean, it's easy enough to say he's been a huge reason for this team's success. And also having Jonas Korpisalo back there to come in and steady the workflow as well. So I think it's a lot of different components, but it really is a team effort. And that's what Marco Sturm always goes back to. It takes all of them, especially when you have kind of the roster build that they do this year.
Belle, say hello to Blaine, Eric, and Loren for Belzy and Tommy, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for doing this. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Big thank you to Belle Fraser for hopping on with us. She's fantastic. Great coverage. Good get by the Bruins when I think she was working for the Salt Lake Tribune last year and then made her way back out east. Thank you, Belle. And we'll see her and that crew from Boston with a lot of ties to Edmonton for that New Year's Eve game on the 31st. Maybe we'll hang out and have a social sparkler with them. Come on down, have a social sparkler with us here at Hudson's White Avenue. Game day specials as well as student night specials. Yeah, Thursday student night, $5 house draft, $5 smash burgers. And then they're doing, it's not karaoke, it's music bingo, which is very
Bingo's
popular.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Anything that stood out to you from what Belle said with how well the Bruins have bounced back when they kind of, I don't want to say tore it down last year, but they moved out a lot of pieces, Trent Frederick included.
Well, I think they found the right guys to come back in and contribute in the roster. Like, to me, did they really rebuild or did they just quickly retool?
I respect that they retooled.
And they did a great job at it. And so it's, they've found ways. They've kind of gone back to what has made them the Boston Bruins, right? When they were at their heyday with guys like Chara and Boychuk and Seidenberg on the back end. Like you look at Zadorov and what he's doing. Like he's been a very physical presence and he's been a menacing presence back there. And so they've got some guys that can play some meaningful minutes, but they play hard minutes. Jeannot, I think she mentioned. There's guys like that where they make it tough on opposing teams and they don't give up anything for free. And consequently, they're doing really well. So it's a hard night. And one of my points in Game Changers is
we have to get to Game Changers.
Boston too. At home.
I forgot about.
I know you did, but it's all good. But it is one of my points because they are so good at home.
All right, let's do Game Changers. We were going to hear from Trent Frederick. I'm like, wait a sec, something's missing.
What's going on?
We've been gabbing so much. It's been a good time here. All right, let's get to it with our game analyst, Sean Bell. Game Changers is always brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Benny, chime in on these as well. Connor Hot Streak, Belzy.
Connor Hot Streak, I mean, he's been absolutely on fire lately. Like, he has been the guy that's been pacing the Oilers. And if you rewind back to when the Oilers weren't playing as well as they possibly could, something that we consistently talked about is the top guys have to be the guys that are lead dogs.
Yes.
And he has basically gone out and he has done exactly that. And he has carried his team in this recent stretch to wins and to play better. And when you have a guy like Connor McDavid doing that, it only elevates Draisaitl, which is then going to elevate the next guy. And when you start to have these guys elevate their game, good things happen for the Edmonton Oilers, and that's what you're starting to see right now.
Anything there?
No, I mean that's pretty bang on. To me, it's they're leaders, man, and they're doing a good job doing it. So, see if it continues tonight.
All right, number 2 on Game Changers, Belzy, slow down geeky. 24 goals.
He's an old Tri-City guy. So I've known about this kid for a long time. And I'm pleasantly surprised to see how he's currently playing. Did I think at any point he was going to be second in goals in the NHL? No, I did not. He's having a fantastic start. Last year, he had, 32 goals?
He had a big season.
So obviously now he's continued it on, and he's found his confidence playing, riding shotgun, essentially, the Pasternak. He's a good hockey player. He's a guy that's helping to pace the Boston Bruins, and you have to be able to shut down Geekie.
Yeah.
He's a very good goal scorer, as basically the last 2 seasons have showed. So if you can slow him down, being one of the keys to the game, and then obviously his line mate, Pasta, well, now you have a really good shot at winning this hockey game.
All right, point number 1, Connor hot streak. Point number 2, slow down Geekie. He's got 24 goals. What'd you make of the present that he got for the team? We got them all custom-made baseball gloves.
Why don't we see more of that in the NHL? Because
do you think guys don't want to share the affluence and boast about it?
Because there's so many guys.
That could be. What was the best gift you ever got from a teammate?
You don't get gifts for teammates.
Didn't Sam Gagner get you one?
Oh, he got me a bag. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
It was pretty
And you had it stolen?
Yeah, I did. I ran out of my car. But for example, Luka Doncic the other day, he just gave his entire team electric scooters or electric bikes.
I'm not gonna lie,
cool gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like seeing that, but I mean, obviously the NFL, the running backs or the quarterbacks will give their offensive line something, right? So that's only 5 or 6 guys. I'd like to see more of that stuff in the NHL because that's a pretty cool touch.
Benny, what would be the best gift, do you think?
Oh, probably a watch or something.
Like a Rolex? Can you do 23 Rolexes?
Yeah, if you're Connor.
Yeah.
What are those like? How much?
Or Kaprizov.
Oh,
you're fine. But other guys, no, you can't.
We're talking like a few grand here, not a few $100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was Geekie that got the gift from his teammates, or was it
for his teammates? For signing that extension. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been feeding him pretty well. I'm trying to find the stat here. I can't find it. I'm pretty sure though, Connor Geekie has the most goals in the calendar year of 2025, which is ridiculous to think that Connor Geekie, like you guys were saying, who expected this from this guy? I mean, trying to make a push for the Olympic roster for Canada. Doubt he gets there, but what a run by him. I don't think anyone expected this out of Connor Geekie. Or Morgan, sorry.
Not bad for a guy that just wanted to play some baseball. And his brother is with the Okotoks Dogs, and then his brother, brother.
Yeah.
So they're very successful, athletic family, the Geekies. And that really cool story. I'm glad that Belle shared that with us and gave us some insight into it. Her story is on the Bruins website if you want to read it. All right. Point number 3 here on Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Bruins at home, Bellsy.
The Bruins at home are just they're a different animal. When you get them on the road, they're 8-9 on the road. They relatively score the same, but they give up way more goals than they do when they're at home. And so right now in 17 games, they've given up 59 goals on the road. But at home, they've given up 47. So that's obviously a massive difference. But here's where things get really interesting. Their power play percentage is actually lower at home than it is on the road.
5th overall in the league.
Yes.
What do we got at home?
So at home, they're 24.1%, and on the road, they're 27.5%. But the biggest difference is what their PK. At home, they're 86% on the PK, and they're 76%
on the road.
So what they're doing from a defensive perspective when they're at home is crazy. So you're going to find a team that's not going to give up anything for free, something that we talked about. They're physical, they play in your face, and they make it a very hard night when they're in the friendly confines in Boston. So you got to find a way to, get your best game going. You got to be flying. So it's something that Connor McDavid's been doing very well as of late. Draisaitl's been doing the same, or he's being pulled along by Connor, and the leaders are leading. Games like this where you have a team that's got 20 wins and they are juggernauts at home. Top big word for it, but I mean it's something that they're a defensive juggernaut. I guess is a better way to describe it. At home, you have to be ready for that game. You got to be ready, and you have to expect what they're about to bring.
the Bruins are 12-5 at TD Garden so far this year. You talk about the discrepancy with the power play and the PK and the goals for. Here's the I'm not all of that great information. Here's where the Oilers actually have been good on the road in a building. Unlike all the times we're like, oh boy, the Oilers don't really win here much. Edmonton in the last decade, in the McDavid era, let's call it, very good in Boston. They've won 8 of their last 9 games at Boston with a 5-game winning streak going in right now. All time, though, the Oilers are 14-26-1 with 3 ties at Boston. A lot of those losses were early in the first 2 decades, first 2 decades of Oilers hockey there. They went from 1996 to I think it was 2015 without a win in Boston. Now there was seasons where they didn't even travel there, but that's how long it was before the Oilers finally started winning games in Beantown again. In their last 10 games overall versus the Bruins, Belzy and Benny 6-2-2, and they've won 3 straight overall against Boston, 4 of the last 5. And again, 5 straight in Boston, 8 of the last 9 visits in Boston. The Oilers have come out victorious. Edmonton 5-3-2 versus Atlantic Division team so far this year. The Bruins 1-4 versus the Pacific Division. So good numbers. Interesting. You got a good team at home going up against an Oilers team that's been doing great in Boston in recent years. All right, 780-218-9999. That was Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Benny Thompson, you want to chime in with anything else before we look at some text here?
No, I mean, this has been I'm very curious, right? Because we've talked about when are the Oilers back, right? And it's been, if they get to a win streak, they'll be back. And I'm still with that side of the people that say that. I think it's once they get that 3-game win streak, I'm willing to say that they're back. Tonight they have a chance to make it back-to-back, which is nice to see. And then that leads right into a matinee game Saturday against Minnesota, where we'll be doing the show right after Hello Hockey.
There's going to be a lot of us.
Oh yeah. Get used to it.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if they if this is the start of maybe not even just a 3-game win streak, but past that. Minnesota's obviously a tough team, and they just acquired the second best defenseman in the NHL, so that'll be a tough game on Saturday. But for tonight, I'm wondering if they're focusing on tonight's game and trying to pair together a win streak here.
All right, we want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat. I'm going to do a game day odds check brought to you by Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta, safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta is redirected into Alberta's general revenue fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Hit that EST50 in the promo code section. That's a $50 deposit, gets you $50 free bet. EST Casino, $50 deposit for a $50 casino bonus. And then EST Sports, $50 deposit for a $50 free bet. Your money line for tonight, Edmonton -133 over at Play Alberta when I was getting ready for the game. And then Boston +113, over under set at 6.5, guys. The over at -109, the under at -123. What do you think? We're going to get 7 goals tonight between these two teams. Who can score at will, obviously?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go with the under, actually.
Okay. I'm
looking at like a 4-2 win, so there's going to be plenty of goals, but I don't know if we're going to get to 7.
Benny?
Yeah. I'm curious because you mentioned like the Boston Bruins are pretty good at home, and they don't allow a whole lot of goals. And Tristan Jarry, we've with him, he's had some high goals against, not necessarily a dictator to how he's played in net, but I'm curious if the numbers will start to even out because he hasn't had a 900 save percentage yet as an Oiler. I'm very curious if it evens out with the performance like tonight where you see him above the 900 mark, only letting in a goal or 2. But, yeah, I'm kind of feeling the under tonight, too. The Oilers have been scoring a lot of goals recently. I think this might be one of those nights where it just kind of doesn't go.
Okay, I'll add some history to it as well to go with the under that you two are throwing out for tonight. The over-under set at 6.5 between the Oilers and Bruins. The 5-game winning streak at Boston that the Oilers are currently riding. Edmonton won January 4th, 2020, 4-1. November 11th, 2021, 5-3 Edmonton victory. And then the last 3 have been lower ish scoring. March 9th, 2023, 3-2 Oilers victory. March 5th, 2024, 2-1 in overtime in favor of the Oilers. And then their last visit there, January 7th, 2025, was a 4-0 Oilers victory. So the last three have hit the under. They had that 5-3 victory in 2021 and then the 4-1 win in 2020. So you know what? I'll go with you guys. I'll ride with you guys and say under 6.5 goals tonight. Of course, if you're going to put a little sprinkle on something over at Play Alberta, remember to use your game sense. That is the Game Day Odds Check, brought to you by our good friends over at Play Alberta. VR Montenegro is here. Cal in the Park is here. Sarah is here. And then Garen, Bryce, and Big Uke are on their way. We're taking over Hudson's on White. It's quiet for a Thursday. I feel like it's going to pick up as we roll along. Come on down, take advantage of some great game day specials, and join a great crew here at Hudson's White Avenue. Okay, I did check in about this Lion thing. With someone who is deeply involved. And I said, hey, anything with this Lion stuff? And the response I got, I'm just passing this along. This was like 5 minutes ago. First time hearing of it. So remember when I said there's some interesting.
Within a week from now.
Well,
just kidding. Anyway,
this person is very much.
He's tied in.
Very, very much right there.
Yep.
I have no doubt that what they're saying is 100% true. So first they're hearing of it. Got to be careful. Got to be careful with some of those rumors because people have been burnt before. Fans have been burnt. So I'll just say that. I'm passing along what I've been told.
Yes.
You know this person very well, too.
I do.
All right. Benny, any other texts you want to get to? We have a couple minutes here before we hand it back over to Jay Milne for the conclusion of the Reid Wilkins Show. Benny?
Yeah, I mean, I want to touch back on Tristan Jarry. Mainly because, the numbers have still been high, and the Oilers, both times Jarry has been in net, they have allowed in garbage time a garbage goal that have affected his numbers, and it's gone throughout the station the past couple of days about like what are your feelings about it, and I'm pretty sure it was Button when I was working the morning show on Tuesday said that it was disrespectful to your goalie to kind of take your foot off the gas in the final in the final couple minutes, because you want to have you saw what happens to Skinner. A lot of people are going to look at the numbers and see how he played and judge it off his numbers. But with Tristan Jarry, you can look at them and go, it hasn't really been the story with Tristan Jarry. So I'm looking for the Oilers tonight if they do have a lead late in the game, let's see them shut the door. Let's see them just play for their goalie, help his numbers out a little bit. Because I'm not saying people are doubting Jarry, but if from outside media looking into the Oilers, if the Oilers win the next 3 games with Jarry in net, let's say, and he still is under a 900 save percentage, I think they're going to question Jarry a little bit. So I'm curious to see. I want to see the Oilers close out a game tonight and not give up that last goal. That's just kind of really? You're going to do that to your goalie tonight? I'd like to see him improve on that.
Yeah, just make sure you play strong defense, don't have the Olay defense in the last minute of the game when you're up, because usually that is when things go bad. So I agree with you. I mean, as a goaltender, you want to make sure you have the best numbers, and people care about numbers, especially at the NHL level, because it's contract stuff. It's all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah, if he's doing well for it and he's working his seeds off for you, you got to make sure that you're doing the same for your goaltender. It goes hand in hand.
All right, boys, that was a good pregame show. Postgame coming up when this one ends. Oilers and Bruins. Edmonton looking to extend their winning streak in Boston to 6 in a row, looking to make it back-to-back victories overall, en route potentially to the first winning streak of the season. It's going to be tough on Saturday, but we'll see how they handle the Bruins tonight. Huge thank you to Belle Fraser from Bruins TV for hopping on, giving us the scoop. Come on down, Hudson's White Avenue. Take advantage of those game day specials. Belsey and I will be here all game long. And then for the post-game show, of course, some of the nasties already here. It's going to be a good time. And we hope you can make it down on a chilly Thursday night. For Benny and Belsey, I'm Tommy saying, enjoy the Oilers and the Bruins. We're going to hand it back over to Jay Milne for the conclusion of the Reid Wilkins Show. Ciao for now.
That's the one thing I'll
That
say.
helps it. Congratulations.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for flooring? Paramount Flooring has it all. Sales, service, and expert installation. With options for every style and budget, open 7 days a week. We've got you covered. Quick delivery and in-stock deals. Plus, EST listeners get 10% off. Visit ParamountFlooring.ca today.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems. But did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Where holiday cheer meets great beer. This season, celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. From plated dinners and festive buffets to casual pub-style parties, we've got the perfect space for your crew. Book your holiday party today at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here, and we're excited to be partnering up with the Nielsen Show and have a special deal exclusive for Nielsen Show listeners. Get 10% off any new Trane furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump installation from now until the end of October. Bundle a furnace with an AC or heat pump and get 25% off the package price. Get your home comfort now for all seasons with Weiss Johnson and Trane. Trane, it's hard to stop a train. Visit WJSportstalk.com today.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Boudreau.
I think sometimes a lateral move is a really good move. It's like he's going there starting from scratch. He's not worried about, I went through waivers. This is all a slate clean. It's like going from one school to another school. No matter all the problems you had with the teachers back there, you can start fresh. And I think that's where he is. And I think that's where the lateral move is an upgrade.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you cater with Royal Pizza, you're getting the same great pizzas, pastas, and salads you love, just bigger and built for a crowd. Perfect for teams, offices, or parties, Royal Pizza's catering brings real value around $10 per person. Delicious, high quality, and easy. If you like their pastas, you'll love their catering pastas even more. Visit royalpizza.ca or contact your local store for exact pricing and details.
So come on home, Royal Pizza, still making it great.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
Yeah, guy, holding it down. Friday night lights, early morning strides. Used to lace up cleats, crowds screaming my name. Now lacing up Nikes, but those the same. Studio lights, hot takes, I'm running the game. Half marathons on Sunday, still chasing that fame. They call me the glue guy, sticking teams together. From locker room speeches to wild podcast weather.
Welcome back to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Riding solo for the last hour of the show here. Well, I'm not solo. I've got the Kubinator with me, and we got Gene Principe here. We'll be keeping you informed. Gene officially, he has a dart in his mouth. I believe he is referencing Leon Draisaitl smoking his way to 1,000 points, which happened 2 nights ago. We will keep you apprised to what's going on in the Oilers game as they take on Boston. Both teams coming into this game hot. Oilers 6-3-1 in their last 10. As Gene was about to light up that dart. That would have been a sight to see. And the Bruins are 7-3-0. A reminder that Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta, who is your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery instants, and sports betting. Now, with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. And another reminder that you are watching us live from the Canadian Brewhouse studio, where the December featured wing flavors have dropped at the Canadian Brewhouse. Festive Cranberry versus Korean Bulgogi in this month's Flavor Showdown. Try them anytime or for just 67 cents for a limited time every Wing Wednesday, only at the Canadian Brewhouse. As I said, we will keep you updated as to what is going on in the Oilers game, the return of Trent Frederick, the long-awaited return of Max Jones. The Boston Bruin faithful are, I don't know who they're most excited to see back. Koob had a premonition about this game. He mentioned it to me while we were off, that he thinks the Oilers are in for a tight one here. And I would say, yeah, they probably are. Boston's no slouch. I mean, they have a really good record. They have been playing well as of late. Morgan Geeky's been on fire. Their special teams are pretty darn good. So, yeah, this is not a walk in the park at all for the Oilers. But that's why they play the game. We've got Bryan DeArdo coming up from CBS Sports. We're going to talk some NFL football. We're going to talk about the Thursday night football game. This is an NFC West showdown. Now, I know what you're saying, Jay. It's Thursday night football. These are duds. These are stinkers. Well, they're not always. They're not always stinkers. And guess what? You have the number 1 and 2, the favorite and the second favorite to win the Super Bowl playing each other tonight.
This is a monumental game. Yeah, both 11 and 3. Like, it's must-watch sports TV tonight. Like, even Reid said, now he's off today and tomorrow. He said he's going to favor that game over the Oilers game. Now, he doesn't have to talk about the Oilers game right away. Of course he's going to watch it, but
he's on holidays, Seahawks. Man. He can watch whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And Riedrich's going to watch his guy Sam Darnold take on Matt Stafford. And the Los Angeles Rams, a reminder that Jay and Matt's play of the day from earlier today is up at playalberta.ca, or you can download the Play Alberta app. It's a bit of a parlay here. So we got the Rams plus 3.5, over 38 or more points. Sam Darnold, 150 plus pass yards. Matt Stafford, 175 plus pass yards. And Kyron Williams, 40 plus rush yards. All of these components are well within, I guess, what would be expected. I mean, Darnold and Stafford are those numbers that we put are below their season averages. So if the LA Rams can win, which I think they can, this has a very good chance of hitting. So check that out. There's also another lock shop partner parlay, the LA Rams to win. Puka Nacua, 94 plus receiving yards. Parkinson, anytime touchdown, and Matthew Stafford, 2+ passing touchdowns. I would take that because I have Matthew Stafford in my fantasy league, and it is semifinal week. So I wouldn't mind that. All right, Bryan DeArdo, Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week. All of that's coming up in the third hour. But first, we're going to get to buying or selling for Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting has been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or the Instagram handle of Damon Bunting Real Estate. That's Damon Bunting, Bunting, Real Estate. And you want to check him out right now because he's doing his famed 7 days of Christmas where he gives away goodies and gift cards and experiences. I believe he was here shooting something the other day.
He was here. He was here in the EST studios.
I don't know what EST's involvement is, but check out Damon Bunting on Damon Bunting Real Estate on Instagram if you want to be a part of the 7 days of giving that he does every holiday season. All right, Koob. I know you've got a couple. I'm going to start out with one, okay?
Please do.
It's been talked about a lot today. Pierre Lebrun reported that Team Canada, they're debating between Evan Bouchard and Matthew Schaefer. Are you? I'm not going to say buying or selling. It's Evan Bouchard. I'm not. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to ask you is buying or selling. Are you surprised that Evan Bouchard is now back on the discussion or negotiation list, or however you want to describe it? Are you surprised that that's come out from Team Canada?
I'm selling that. I'm surprised on that because his offensive talent is there, right? You're not going to put Evan Bouchard in the lineup for a defensive stalwart of a defenseman. He's not going to, make all the right plays defensively. He does have his blunders from time to time, but his offensive talent is at the tops of the league. If you rank him top 5 as just a purely offensive defenseman, I think he's there, no question. He could even be top 3 for one, he's shining, but one, his shadow shines bright as well. It can go long, and I don't think it's surprising at all that he's in the conversation to be on the list, but it definitely makes sense that he's not a starter, and to have both Matthew Schaefer and Evan Bouchard there in the mix, I think it makes sense to have a offhand offensive defenseman.
Well, and keep in mind, they're not. This is questions for the 8th spot.
Yes.
So this is a defender that's probably not going to play or have a limited role.
Yes.
So if that's the case, me personally, I would rather give that to a younger player like Matthew Schaefer to get the experience now. Bouchard, I mean, we don't need to tell you people, you Oilers fans know it's a roller coaster ride, but I'm not surprised he's back in the discussion. If you look at look at his first 10 games for Evan Bouchard, 4 points -9. Okay. His last 20 games, he's accumulated 23 points and he's +12. That's going to get you in the discussion. What's going to keep him off the team is the stuff that doesn't show up on those stats I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe plus minus, but you know how that can be skewed.
Right.
Trent Frederick, by the way, on the ice to start the game. Nice touch by Coach Knobloch. Get him out there. I just think there's more benefit to having a younger player like Matthew Schaefer as somebody that's just going to be there mostly viewing the Olympics happening, not necessarily having a role. But
right. For Matthew Schaefer, like he was off to such a great start to the season. I almost penned him in 20 games into the season. For him to come up for the Islanders as a first overall pick and make that much of an impact for his team in his first season in the bigs was phenomenal and surprising to see in that. So whichever way it goes, it's going to be exciting to watch. I feel like for Matthew Schaefer, though, being so young, you might want to get him in there. But
well, and his defensive, I think that the ceiling and the floor are similar, except Schaefer already in his young career might have a higher floor in terms of defensive responsibilities than Evan Bouchard. But okay, you had a couple for me.
So we're going to stay with the Oilers here, and they have quite a few interesting matchups going down toward the end of 2025. So, of course, Boston tonight, the Wild on the front end of a back-to-back this Saturday, Vegas on the Sunday, and then 2 games against the Flames, one on Tuesday, the 23rd, and then the 27th. Then they go and match up with the Jets before closing out the year against the Bruins. Buying or selling, Edmonton will not win 3 straight games before the end of 2025.
Buying. I don't think they're going to win.
Think they're going to do it
in 6 games. They've got 6 games left. They haven't done it all year.
They've been close, and they had their best opportunity.
They play Minnesota.
Oof. Yeah.
They play Las Vegas. Okay, maybe you could. I mean, the Flames are always going to be the Flames. I know they're not performing as well as they would have liked, or maybe that's what the organization wants. Who knows? But it's not like there's no cakewalk in the NHL. And then they got the Jets and the Bruins again. The Bruins are a good team. The Jets, they're a good team. I just don't. I'm absolutely buying. Are you optimistic that they can get a 3-gamer here before the year's out?
I feel like their best opportunity would be now after the weekend playing the Flames twice and then the Jets. That would be the stretch where I would see them get 3 games. But honestly, I don't think it's going to happen until 2026, where the Oilers get their first 3-game win streak of the 25-26 season.
Well, and at least over the last couple of years, this team has proven that January can be. I think last year they were 10-3-1 in January, if my memory's recalling me right. They have come out and played well in January, so you might find that there. Shot on net here. We're almost 2 minutes into the first period. That would be the second shot on net, I believe, for Boston. Been nothing, no big major points yet in the Oilers Bruins, but we'll keep you posted as this game goes on. What else you got, Koob?
Well, now Patrick Mahomes went down with an ACL tear, also some ligament damage to his LCL as well. He's eyeing a week 1 return, possibly. Underwent surgery for the Chiefs after being eliminated from the playoffs. And of course, they made the Super Bowl the previous 3 seasons in a row. Buying or selling, the Chiefs dynasty is over.
Okay. This dynasty is over. Now, that's not to say the Chiefs can't. I mean, Tom Brady had the same injury, and he recovered from it. There were some down years, yes. But, New England got better eventually, and then Tom Brady ended up moving on. So, buying that this current run for the Chiefs is over, because there's a lot of question marks. I mean, Rashee Rice, okay, that's a top receiver. That's not a top 5 receiver in the NFL. I mean, you've got Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Yeah.
To ever play the game. And you're throwing out Rashee Rice and an aging... I mean, Travis Kelce, he's just not the same.
Yeah, this year was not great.
Unless, if you're saying Travis Kelce's the same, you're just a Chiefs fan because you want to believe that. I mean, there's speculation that Travis Kelce may not even return to the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce may retire and ride off into the sunset with T Swizzle.
Yeah, I mean, why shouldn't he retire, right? He's done everything there is to do in the game of football. He's won it. He's been there, and he didn't have a great year. He can walk away and be happy with his career. He has nothing else to prove in the game of football. And now, looking at the Chiefs, so they started with some weapons missing as well, a couple key injuries, and then Rashee Rice was suspended for 6 games to begin the season as well. So that also played a part in it, but a massive injury for Patrick Mahomes, and just for him to recoup and come back from that, right? It can't be an easy thing to come back from and to start eyeing a week 1 return from an injury like that. I feel like it would take some time for him to come back as well, but I got to buy that this version of the Chiefs dynasty is over. Not that that's completely writing them off for 2 or 3 years down the line where they can retool and come back to go back into the playoffs because they know how to win. They have veteran pieces on their team, and having Patrick Mahomes just there and Andy Reid, you're never going to be out of the conversation. But yeah, I'm buying that the Chiefs dynasty right now is over.
Buying or selling, Nikita Zadorov is one of the biggest antagonists in oil country.
He's not very well liked.
He's not liked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the history of him in Vancouver, which that's just turned into a much bigger rivalry than it's ever been. But here's the thing. I mean, you can hate Nikita Zadorov all you want, but you would love to have a player like that on your roster. Like the Oilers would beg for a defenseman like that that's not afraid to get a little chippy, to do some questionable things, and impose you with his stature. If Nikita Zadorov wanted to take over this game and be an aggressor, doing what he normally does, who is the Oilers going to send out to answer that call? Who in this lineup? Okay. McDavid, Hyman, Nuge, Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Savoy, Henrique, Mangiapane, Janmark, Frederick, Jones, Hudson, Ekholm, Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, Spencer Stastny, Stillman, Emberson. Who's answering that bell? Nobody.
I would say Frederick, but I don't think he would answer the call for that one. Now, he's dropped the gloves. He's still trying to find his role with the team as well. But if his former teammate Zadorov tried to...
I will tell you one thing.
Yeah.
If Trent... We talked a lot in the first hour of the show about Trent Frederick. And who is he? Finding his role. And I've said it now for a while. It's not happening on the score sheet. Not yet. It may never happen. Don't know. It's too early to tell. But getting the Nikita Zadorov, right? Getting in the face of him, cross-checking him, heaven for, dropping the gloves. I mean, if Trent Frederick was to go with Nikita Zadorov tonight, boom, he is back in the good books and good graces of Oilers fans immediately.
Yeah. No matter what the outcome is. Yeah.
No matter. This would be a top story and would be a boost for Trent Frederick, at least in the eyes of Oilers fans. Because what's this team been lacking for a long time? I mean, Kane was not in the lineup at all last year. Corey Perry could agitate.
He can muck it up, yeah.
I wouldn't know, and not to say that that you need to have an enforcer, but when Nikita Zadorov's on the ice, the Oilers notice, right? And they just don't have anybody, and they're not built right now to have anybody. I mean, and I know they're decimated right now, or not decimated, but they have a lot of injuries. Noah Philp being a big body that maybe could do something or stand up to the big bad bully, but it's interesting to watch. I always love watching Zadorov because I value that player. I do. I value a player that can drive you nuts and get under your skin and agitate you and force you to make stupid, poor decisions.
Yeah, and he's a hard worker as well. That's not just all he does. He can lay the body.
He's a hell of a defenseman.
You keep your head up when you're out on the ice with Nikita Zadorov. That's for sure. That guy is an intimidating player. Like, you would not want to run across him or get in his bad books because he can lay the lumber and really, really do anything to intimidate you mentally and physically on the ice.
All right, we've got to get out. That was buying or selling for Damon Bunting. We've got Bryan DeArdo. He would be our NFL. He's the NFL guru of the Reid Wilkins Show, I believe. I mean, at least he's got to be up near the top echelon of our NFL guests for sure. I love talking to Bryan DeArdo. So we're going to break down some NFL. We're going to talk NFC West showdown tonight. We're going to talk about, we have to talk about Phillip Rivers. I mean, shoot, he's the same age as me. I got to talk about somebody playing quarterback in the NFL that's the same age as me, Koob. So we'll be right back with that for Oil Country Video Towing Hotline. But first, we got to hear from the one and only Koob.
With 10 games in the NHL tonight, the Oilers and Bruins are underway in the first. Just over 6 minutes into the contest, it's scoreless with Boston leading in the shot category 5-2. And 5 other games are live around the NHL. Just one with a score currently. Brady Tkachuk on the board for Ottawa. His third of the season on the power play. They lead the Penguins 1-0. And in Winnipeg, the Bombers having 32-year-old Nick Demski to a 2-year extension. Demski has recorded over 1,000 yards and 6 or more touchdowns in each of his past 3 seasons. NFL action, the Rams and Seahawks fight for first in the NFC West. Seattle elevating Cam Akers from the practice squad for tonight. Swing by Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at Center Casino on Fort Road to join Lieutenant Eric for the game. And there's a dozen games in the association. Toronto's Jakob Poeltl is questionable against the Bucks, continuing to manage a back issue. Tip-off for that one goes at 6. And right now there's a pair of games underway. It's the Pacers leading the Knicks 12-6 early in the contest, and the Hornets are up 24-12 over the Hawks. Both of those games in the first quarter. Bryan DeArdo from CBS Sports checks in on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Koob Kubusch. keeping you up to date.
The EST Hangout.
I'm working for Walmart or Golf Town. I ain't making the money. I don't care. I'll tell you to have if you want to come back or not, that's up to you. I'm not there to thank you for your business. It's not my company. And if it's, well, you should do it because they're employing you, I don't care. That company's going to fire me one day. They give me no loyalty. They don't do nothing to me. I ain't there to, be the best employee for them.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Happy holidays from Sentinel Storage, a proud supporter of food banks across Canada. Sentinel Storage, affordable storage solutions at a store near you. Buy Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Hockey is heating up, and so is the excitement on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code EST50. That's code EST50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense.
EST Afternoons.
Sean Hutchins. What can you tell us about Trent Frederick, the Bruin player? Because we're not seeing that here in Edmonton.
What you're seeing in Edmonton is what we saw here in Boston. He can run hot and cold. I was very surprised to see the deal that the Oilers gave him, because that was my thought. He's a third, fourth line player. Right now, what you're seeing is what we saw here in Boston.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Where holiday cheer meets great beer. This season, celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. From plated dinners and festive buffets to casual pub-style parties, we've got the perfect space for your crew. Book your holiday party today at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
The Oil Stream.
You think McDavid knows about Skinner? You think he's got the book on Skinner? He literally just had to drag it to his backhand, and he had the entire net wide open.
Stu just kind of went down.
He went down, and it didn't even do anything.
I know.
And then McDavid had the other one where he tried to come in and go short side up top, and Stu had him red on that one.
You felt bad for Stu.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Must you click?
Welcome back to the Reid Wilkins Show, right here live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Obviously, you can listen to us on iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps, as well as EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you are watching us on YouTube, you just heard the famed Thumb remix created by our technical producer, or producer Zach at the technical desk, I believe. So hammer that thumbs up if you haven't yet. We are soaring towards 100 thumbs for the last hour here. That would be incredible. We got Bryan DeArdo in the bullpen. We have the Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week coming up, as well as Words of the Day for Edmonton Public Library. Ty Emberson, there's 11 minutes to go in the first period. Ty Emberson had a stick shatter on him on a one-timer. Sent in Fraser Minton on the breakaway. Partial breakaway, I would say. He missed high glove side, so it remains 0-0 for the Oilers. But with that, I got to get to Bryan DeArdo, who has an interesting choice of attire on today. Is there any sort of... what messaging are you trying to get across here with a Pittsburgh Penguins shirt on, Bryan?
Oh, no, I heard you guys talking about hockey. I got a little into the spirit, decided to see if I could bust out my 1991 Prince of Wales Champions Penguins shirt. My family hails from Pittsburgh, and this is, you guys might find this crazy in Canada. So when they won this championship, I now live in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Blue Jackets. They did not have the Stanley Cup Finals on regular television. Wow. So we had to drive to Pittsburgh to watch Game 6. And we bought this shirt, I think, the very next day. So I think, based on the math, you said you're Philip Rivers' age, that would have made you 10 years old when this shirt was produced. So, every time I'm on shows with you guys, I hear you guys talking hockey, I get excited. And is tonight the night that Sid's going to pass or tie Mario? Maybe.
Could happen. I mean, we were... for our plays that we have with our partner Play Alberta. We would have appreciated if he scored one late in the game there. That would have covered one of our plays of the day. But I digress. Brian, I wanted to get your opinion on this NFC West showdown tonight. Both teams are 11-3. Rams are the number 1 seed. Seahawks are the number 5 seed, but that could flip-flop tonight. They're 1-2 respectively as far as Super Bowl favorites go. I mean, do you see one team having an edge in tonight's Thursday night football matchup?
Yeah, I mean, clearly I think it's the Rams. When you look at now, they don't have Davante Adams in this game, which is massive. I mean, it's funny because like Davante doesn't have a lot of his numbers aren't huge except for his touchdowns. He is a massive red zone threat for them. So him not being out, that puts more of a strain on Kyron Williams, their talented running back, and Puka Nacua, who I don't know if some of your fans or know or listeners, he's been in the news down here for some of the wrong reasons. So we'll see how he responds to that and just the fact that they won't have Davante Adams. But no, I still think the Rams they're a much more well-balanced team. And I think if you just look at the quarterback play, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, and I think, that I think, again, is more of the national focus down here is this is another primetime opportunity for Sam Darnold to kind of show that he's a, legit franchise quarterback, whatever that means. But I just saw this stat earlier today, and I don't know if this is right or not, but take it as you will. Seattle hasn't beaten a team with a winning record since week 5, I believe. So that's pretty, that was pretty notable to me. So I think for a lot of those reasons, the Rams, to me, frankly, I'm surprised Seattle's a favorite in this game. They're 1.5 points. I'm surprised they're favored.
Is that just the 12th man mentality of playing in Thursday night on a primetime game?
I think that's a lot of it. And I also think, I don't know how much this moved with Davante being inactive. And also, they both have extremely good defenses, right? And they both have good running games. So in Thursday night football, typically tends to lean more towards the home team. But like I said, I mean, and if we're talking MVP running, well, Matt Stafford plays well and the Rams win tonight, especially without Davante Adams. I don't know how you don't give him the award.
Bryan DeArdo, NFL writer for CBS Sports, joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us, Brian. We always love having you here. I mentioned it earlier. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is going to carry the ball again for the Indianapolis Colts, who really need a win. Now, if they lose, they're not completely out, but they need to win some ball games here if they want to get into postseason play. My question to you is, that offense looks severely limited last week with Phillip Rivers at the helm. Does that change this week, given that he's had another week of practice under his belt, or is that just what you get when you roll out a 44-year-old starter?
Well, I think, I mean, he was 18-27, but for only $120. So obviously he wasn't littering the sky with footballs. I think they're going to have to open it up. I mean, and they have Alec Pierce, one of the best deep ball threats in the league. So they're going to have to open it up more. And Jonathan Taylor is going to have to produce the way he was earlier in the season when he was neck and neck with some of the other MVP candidates. But they're not going to win if he's averaging, 5 yards, 6 yards of completion. That's not going to get it done. I mean, that defense has been super tough all year long, even now without, a steady play quarterback. But man, I'm always a half full guy, but it would be such an amazing story if they could beat the 49ers. I just find it so hard to believe unless that defense can get some turnovers and can really rattle, the 49ers offense. But no, I do think, Jay, that the Colts are going to open it up. I think they kind of know their season's on the line. And, maybe another week under his belt and he still has the arm. Phillip Rivers absolutely still has the arm. So I would be very surprised if they were that conservative this Sunday.
It seems like everybody has been suggesting, and hand up, I've been guilty of this as well, of saying, well, the Chicago Bears, they're the Bears. They'll come back down to earth. They'll fall from grace, but they haven't yet. They have a huge matchup against the Green Bay Packers. And, you question at week 16. It's funny that I can still ask this question, but are the Bears for real?
They are in terms of they're a bona fide playoff team, but they're not for real, in my opinion, as far as getting to the Super Bowl. To me, there's a few reasons. They live and die on forcing turnovers. They lead the league in forced turnovers, which is great. It's great to force turnovers. but you can't live and die off of that. And in the playoffs, typically you're going to run into teams like Green Bay, who they're going to play this weekend, like the Rams, like the Seahawks. They don't beat themselves. You have to beat them. So that turnover ratio is not going to be there. The other thing is, I think DeAndre Swift got banged up about a month to a month and a half ago, and he hasn't been the same, and that running game hasn't been the same. And so I also think they don't have the complementary running game that you're going to want if you're a legit Super Bowl team. And then last but not least, I think Caleb Williams has made some amazing strides. He really has. His efficiency is still lower than you'd like. I feel like every time I look at a box score of his, it's like 19 to 35 for 235. And like 1996, that's a very good game. Today's times, you got to be a little bit better than 60%. So I think they're a very good team. I think that they're building in the right direction. I think they're a playoff team. They could change my mind if they win this weekend. But right now, I just think there's too many holes for me to put them as a legitimate playoff contender, a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, and the great thing for the league, there's been an incredible amount of parity this year. I mean, you look at the teams that are currently in the playoffs that maybe you wouldn't have suggested, one being the Bears. I mean, Broncos first in the AFC. But who are a couple teams that might be at the bottom, on the, I don't know, call it on the bubble or just outside of the bubble that you better hope they don't get in, or they could rattle some chains should they actually get into the postseason?
I think that's Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson's getting healthier. I mean, I know the Bengals aren't having a great season, but still 24-0 is 24-0. And they just got back. They're getting healthier, not just with Lamar Jackson, but also on defense. They got one of their best pass rushers back this past weekend. He had some big plays against the Bengals. So, yeah, I mean, anytime you've got Lamar Jackson, a two-time league MVP, but I think the issue for them is they have a really tough schedule from here on out. I know they've got an upcoming game with New England. They've got to play the Steelers in Week 18. They're only going to make it if they win the division. So they're going to have to beat the Steelers. They're a game behind Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh beats Detroit Sunday, it's going to be very, very hard for Baltimore to make the playoffs. I mean, that's one team. When I'm looking around, I mean, Houston is another team. They're hanging on to the 7th spot right now. They started 0-3. They've been on an absolute tear. On the other side, obviously, Detroit, they're on the outside looking in, which is insane. Their defense has been struggling, but they're tops in the league in offense. And anytime you've got, like here's the crazy part. I would probably rather take Detroit in the playoffs over Chicago. I have more faith in Detroit because of that offense, because of they've proven that, they're a legitimate team once they get into the postseason. But yeah, I mean, Dallas would be another fun team, but I just think they're too far back now to even consider them for the playoffs.
Well, and just like that, the Oilers have taken the lead in Boston, 1-0. Brian, I got one more for you before we let go. This is Bryan DeArdo, NFL writer for CBS Sports. I always love this time of the season because, well, I mean, there's fantasy implications. I think everybody should be in their semifinal leg of their fantasy season, but it's also incentive season in the NFL where players are looking to get, rushing bonuses, pass bonuses. I mean, you can't forget 2021, Tom Brady. I believe it was Carolina that they were blowing out, and there was really no reason for Tom Brady to be in the game in the fourth quarter, but his longtime teammate, Rob Gronkowski, needed a catch to get his $500,000 bonus. So lo and behold, Tom Brady stayed in there until it was done and was immediately removed. So are there any big bonuses that could happen this week? Because look, the reason is, I mean, if you have a running back that might need some yards to get their incentive, maybe you should look at starting that running back given that it's this late in the fantasy football season.
Man, you're so smart. So I know to give your listeners kind of a lens behind the curtain, you messaged me about like incentives and stuff like that. So I wrote players that need to play well to have a big contract for next year. I didn't get into the weeds as your question, which was a phenomenal question, and I'm failing you here on the air, so I feel bad about that. Next time you have me on, I'm gonna blow this question out of the water. But I will say, players that are incentivized to finish the season strong to get big deals.
Sure.
Among them, I had Jacoby Myers written down, but he just signed an extension just before I joined your show. Kyle Pitts, I absolutely want to start him. I think he's going to be a free agent next year. He's coming off a monster game last week, 11 catches. Yeah, I mean, he had Kellen Winslow senior numbers. It was insane. Javonte Williams is having a monster season for Dallas. George Pickens is having a monster season. These guys are all on their contract years. And then on the other side of the ball, Joey Bosa, who the Bills took a flyer on him. He leads the league with 5 forced fumbles. So unfortunately, I didn't get but if you are listening, you should look up. There might be something in Javonte Williams' contract regarding 1,200 rushing yards or George Pickens. So look those guys up. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was some sort of incentives in those contracts. I know Cam Hayward has a lot of them, but he's a defensive player, so I don't think that helps anybody at all. But certainly look up Pitts, Pickens, and Williams, because I think those 3 guys are incentivized to have some big games coming up here.
Well, the reason if you came, open and honest, so I'll come open and honest to you, Brian, is that Rico Dowdle is one of my running backs in my league, and he an 8th touchdown gets him a $250,000 bonus. So I was hoping you'd say, you got to watch out for Rico Dowdle. He's going to go off for the Carolina Panthers. But now, and as we get to week 18, we have something that we got to bring up now, and we'll both be on the same page. How about that?
That works for me. I love it. And I'll be ready to go, and hopefully I'll knock that one out of the park.
Bryan DeArdo, you are always the best. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us here on the Oil Country Towing Video Hotline. We'll catch up with you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you.
That was, of course, Bryan DeArdo, NFL writer for CBS, joining us on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. It's Edmonton's most trusted 24/7 roadside rescue team. Fast, safe, and reliable for over 15 years. Whether it's game day or a snowstorm, we work as hard as your favorite team to get you going. Call 780-986-6088. Once again, the Oilers have taken the early lead on a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal set up from Connor McDavid. So the Oilers lead 1-0, probably 3/4 of the way through the first period. I can't tell you the time because they're at commercial break. But speaking of commercial breaks, we got to get to one, but don't go anywhere. We've got an incredible Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week. Local, well, maybe not so local, soccer player Becca Campbell joins us after we hear from the Koob.
6 games are underway in the NHL, all in the first period with 4:40 left to go in the opening frame. The Oilers are up 1-0 over the Bruins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with his 8th of the season on the power play, assisted by Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. We also see Andrei Vasilevsky back for the Lightning. He's missed the past 7 games with an undisclosed injury, and right now from Tampa, the Lightning lead 1-0 over the Kings. About 6 minutes left in the first, and in Washington, the Maple Leafs trail the Capitals 1-0. NFL news, Jacoby Myers and the Jags have agreed to a 3-year extension worth $60 million total, $40 million guaranteed, with Myers now locked up in Jacksonville through the 2028 season. Thursday Night Football, LA and Seattle go toe-to-toe. Devontae Adams is out for the Rams, battling a hamstring issue, while with the Seahawks and Rams fighting for top spot in the NFC West. Catch the action alongside Lieutenant Eric down at Sally's Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road. To the association, the Raptors and Bucks hit the court. Jakob Poeltl will miss this one for Toronto. He's managing a back issue. They play at 6 o'clock with a pair of games underway right now in the second. 2 minutes into the second quarter. So Hornets up 46-35 on the Hawks. While entering the second, the Pacers lead the Knicks 36-25. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The athlete of the week for Pasta Pantry is next on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Koob Kubusch, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
They have 7 defensemen from last time. Say Parayko or Harley are out, and Schaefer could be there for the experience, and he's going to be on the next Olympic team, and Bouch can be there. If something happens to Makar, you slide Bouch in.
I'm okay with it. No, I'm still kind of surprised he's even in that conversation now at this point, but I think the only reason that he would be if Makar gets hurt.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here, and we're excited to be partnering up with the Nielsen Show and have a special deal exclusive for Nielsen Show listeners. Get 10% off any new Trane furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump installation from now until the end of October. Bundle a furnace with an AC or heat pump and get 25% off the package price. Get your home comfort now for all seasons with Weiss Johnson and Trane. Trane, it's hard to stop a train. Visit wjsportstalk.com today.
From the first time on skates to wearing a special jersey passed down through generations, Sentinel Storage is here for you. Store your sports gear to create space for all life's adventures. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Running your own small business takes courage, and as it grows, so does your team. That's why Alberta Blue Cross offers health, dental, life, disability, and wellness benefits designed for small businesses, because we know a healthy team means a thriving business. Join over 5,000 Alberta businesses who have chosen us to help their business grow and succeed. Alberta Blue Cross takes care of you and your employees, so you can take care of your business. Visit ab.bluecross.ca to find a plan that's right for you.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Welcome back to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, live on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you are watching and consuming us on YouTube, that's one of the several platforms that we operate on, please give us a thumbs up. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tell your friends. Tell your friends we're here and we're here to stay. A reminder that the afternoon inbox is brought to you by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. Sundays and Mondays, 50% off the entire menu. Available Sundays and Mondays, 5 p.m. to close. Where I look in and Troll says, really could have used a save there from Jari. Sure. As Pavel Zacha goes in on the power play, tripping penalty to Darnell Nurse and ties this game up 1-1, 2:38 left to go in the first period. But with that, we get to one of our favorite segments here on the Reid Wilkins Show. It is the Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week, and boy, oh boy, I've got to say, I don't know if we've had an athlete join us from such a remote location such as this, but we've got local soccer player Becca Campbell joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Becca, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we are fantastic. Now, if I might, you are joining us from quite a remote, nice location. I mean, are you in Mexico right now?
I am in Mexico for a family Christmas vacation. We actually just got here. We're still checking in. So if it's loud, I'm sorry. We're just sitting in the lobby.
That's fine. And thank you for taking time out of your family vacation. My goodness. Okay. This is fantastic. Okay. You're an accomplished soccer player. We'll get into to that as well. But how long have you been playing soccer?
I started playing soccer when I was 9 years old, so I'm 23 now, so I've been playing for almost my whole life, I'd say.
Now, have you always been a defender?
I have always been a defender. I started as an outside back when I was younger because I was quicker, and then as I got older and kind of fell into who I really was as a soccer player, I became a center back, and I've been a center back since I was end of junior high, high school, all the way through university up until now.
Okay, so let me just ask you something specifically pertaining to soccer. I mean, you know, okay, I'll give you a little backstory about me. I played up to the university level. I played for the Golden Bears football. I played safety, so I was a defender as well. Okay. But a lot of people want to be the striker for soccer, or they want to be the all-star receiver in football. What was it about defending that you know was the right fit for you, Becca?
Do you know what? I think that this is a quote that I lived by growing up, that defense wins championships. You know, you always see the people that score goals. But in those biggest moments in the games where, you know, I've won championships with my teams, it's because the defenders, a lot of times because the defenders and the goalies, they stop the goals from going in the net. So I think the thrill I kind of get from that is that much pressure, honestly, of having to be like one of the last people back on the field. It kind of drives me. And then when I do get those moments where I can score, they're even bigger because it's not as often as a striker. And then you kind of get to have those like super sick, fun tackles as well that can honestly save a game. So I think those are just as important as the goals being scored.
What an answer. Spoken like a true defender, as that's something I would always reference. Is defense wins it. We're the most important players on the team. So thank you for answering that so eloquently. Okay, so since you graduated from O'Leary High School here in 2019, you've been playing NAIA, NCAA soccer. Take us through the steps, from how did you go from Edmonton to NAIA, and then how did you go from NAIA to NCAA?
Okay, so it has been quite a long journey, and it was not kind of always a straight arrow for me. And I think that's, for anyone who's listening, I think that's also really important to know that it's not that easy. There's a lot of different like turns and things like that. But I went to Archbishop O'Leary Soccer Academy, and I played on Edmonton Inter was my soccer club growing up. And I had the pleasure of playing for a coach who knew a lot of people in the game and was really able to kind of provide our entire team with the resources to go somewhere if we wanted to. It was always my dream to go and play soccer in the United States because at the time when I did leave high school, that was kind of the place to be for women's soccer, I thought. So that was my dream, and I was just going to make it happen. I always kind of classify myself as the trier. I wasn't always the best in high school, especially in my position. I wasn't always picked first, but I always tried. And I always knew what I wanted. And to me, I was just gonna make sure I made that happen. With the help of my coaches here, you know, they took us to showcases. I wasn't a right fit for some of the big schools in the States, so I ended up through my coaches and other mutual coaches in the States getting connected with the head coach at Cumberland University in the NAIA, and that just kind of felt like the right choice for me at the time. So I ended up going down there to Tennessee, and I played 3 years there, and I had like the best time of my life. And then I decided, you know, I grew into the player that I always knew I could be, but you know, I grew up physically. I got more athletic. I became smarter as a soccer player. And then I kind of knew that's when I was ready to move on to Division I NCAA. My third year there, so my junior year at Cumberland, I broke my ankle. I snapped it right in half. I had surgery in Tennessee, and that was kind of, okay, it's like a recovery, get it all done. You're going to look to transfer and go off to a bigger school. The transferring process was really difficult as well. I wanted to transfer because I wanted to always play Division I. And that's when I kind of felt I was ready my third year after I broke my ankle. And I made my highlight tape, I made my resume, and I sent out dozens of emails to coaches in Division I. It was like around Christmas time, so there wasn't a lot of time. And sent out a bunch, and there was a lot of schools that weren't interested. But then there was 2 schools that I decided between, and then I moved on to Western Carolina University, which was the Division I school I graduated from, because it just felt like the right choice. I really connected with the coach there, and he took a chance on me, and I had the best 2 years of my life there. I thrived because I was ready to play at that level after a couple years in the States, and I was kind of used to it. And I say this to everyone I talk to, the best day of my life so far. And I honestly think when I get married one day, this day will even top my wedding. It was when we won the Southern Conference Championship, the first year that I was there. The fans, it was just like a moment that I cry every time I talk and think about. So yeah, I did my 2 years there, won championships. We went to the NCAA tournament. I got 2 really cool rings to show for it. And it was honestly the best time of my life. And so I'm very grateful.
Well, Becca, I can see why you've gotten as far as you have. You're very well spoken and an excellent storyteller. So I appreciate you letting us into your, how you've gotten to where you are. But I will make one suggestion. When you do get married one day, just don't tell your significant other about our little conversation here. Because they might their feelings may get hurt a bit there, but I understand what you're saying. Look, we really appreciate you. I wanted to let you know that Alicia Hemming had nominated you for Athlete of the Week, and what she said, Becca is a well-deserving athlete. She's hardworking, dedicated, and an amazing player. I believe that her bubbly personality will make for a great interview as well, which it has. Becca, we've got to get out, but I wanted to ask you, where are you going next? What's next for Becca Campbell?
Well, what is next is I am, after this vacation with my family, I'm going home for, I think, 3 weeks, and then I am going to play professionally in Germany. And I'm flying to Nuremberg, Germany on a 5-month contract. It's my first contract. I've worked really hard for that and with my agent, and I am so stoked because I plan to do this for a couple more years.
Awesome. This is exactly what this segment is about. Congrats on becoming the Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week. When you get back from Mexico and before you go to Germany, you make sure you come by here and get your GC and your custom Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week hat as well. And Becca, don't be a stranger. When you're over in Germany and you score the game winner, make sure you send me an email and we'll check in on you from there, okay?
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that was Becca Campbell, your Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week, joining us from Mexico. Koob, we've run out of time. I don't know what to do. How fast can we do this? Can we just roll into one word, Koob?
The word of the day. Yeah, let's do it. Just one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again?
What a fantastic.
Say what again? I dare you.
That was unreal.
English, do you speak it?
I just continue to say this, is that the people we talk to on the Athlete of the Week are just, now, put yourself in the mind of an athlete when you hear her talking. That's what it takes, is that mentality of, she was a straight, she told us a story. It's not a straight arrow. She told us how she was the one that would just keep persevering and keep trying and going. And look, she's going to Germany on a pro contract. I mean, if you have young kids in your life, show them that interview. EPL, the words of the day are brought to you by Edmonton Public Library. EPL stands for your right to explore every topic, every belief, and every opinion without censorship. Learn more about how EPL protects your freedom to read at intellectualfreedom.ca. Koob, we've got 1 minute. Let's fire away.
Okay, your word of the day is gentacular.
Gentacular. Well, I got to go with my gut. Gentacular.
Oh, so close. Swap the G for a J, and you got
J.
it. Gentacular. Gentacular. What do you think it means?
Can you use it in a sentence?
I will. She enjoyed a gentacular feast of fresh bread and tea at sunrise.
Jeez. Well, spectacular is good. Gent originates.
Gentacular.
Is it
I don't know where.
Quaint? Or a quaint but impressive? I don't know, Koob. What is it?
No. Pertaining to breakfast. That's all it means. I know.
Okay.
If you said something, breakfast, what the sunrise thing was in there.
Look at
Still
me,
enjoying
just
the spectacular feast.
taking something
bread and
quite
tea at breakfast.
simple and making it quite complex. But hey,
it's a
that's what
weird
we do. Koob, you're the man. This was great. Just a reminder, coming up right after the Oilers game will be the GCL Diesel post-game oil stream post-game show with Tom Gazzola, Sean Bell, and our very own Benny Thompson. And all of your regular favorites start and resume tomorrow, which kicks off with the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, as well as simulcast on 95.7 Cruise FM. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been fun. And to that I say, we'll talk to you soon.